When it comes to crypto, almost no one knows what a phenomenal chance we have. That's what I'm going to talk about in this movie. Hi, and welcome to the group, everyone. My name is Nick. If this video is your first time on the channel, I hope you decide to join by the end. A great post was made not long ago by a digital asset owner. It was mostly a video from Raoul Pol's. I think it might be his show after all. But he was talking about the chance to make $100 trillion in crypto. In 2021, I think it was Raoul Pol, but I also remember that M13 released a report about Web3 in which they basically said that by 2030, this entire asset class could be well over $140 trillion. That's a big number, and a lot of people don't believe it's possible, but when we look at things in perspective, it's pretty easy to get there. Guys, if we just look at the market for securities trades, it's £3 jillion. If these things are going to move on chain and settle 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, how big do you think this whole asset class will be? To be honest, it's easy to get into crypto positions, but it's very hard to have a plan for when it's time to cash out. That's why I put out a free exit plan that you can use for any crypto position you take. Another great thing about it is that it's free. To get entry, just click on the link at the bottom of this page. What do you wait for now? Take those gains. But pay close attention to this movie. Follow that trend. 2.5 trillion, 100 trillion, don't get confused. How do you get 200 trillion for crypto assets when the SP 500 is only 50 trillion right now? Because it's money, this is a special type of asset. For money, it's the rails, it's most likely the banking system's rails. As an example, equity should be turned into tokens so that better technology and cash can be used more efficiently. That's stocks, bonds, and futures. What do derivatives mean? It's just a deal for over-the-counter OTC derivatives, that's NFTs. Okay, so let's talk about the financial system. Okay, yes, the derivatives market is worth 1.4 quadrillion bucks. That doesn't mean that the base token will be used 1.4 quadrillion times, but that's a lot of value and volume that will happen. Okay, that's the part about real-world assets. The culture is another part. We talked about funny pictures called memes. Memes are useful. What's the point of Disney history? How much does Disney's business make? Disney has a societal value of $1 trillion, $2 trillion. It's huge, the worth of everything, including pop stars and sports teams. We haven't known how to understand this. There are no tangibles here, things like that. Then there are easy uses for things like buying tickets. It's simple, all passes should be NFTs, especially hotel rooms, you know, things like plane tickets and such. It's really interesting, people. A lot of the people I see who understand crypto are like, yeah, real world assets are the big deal. I agree that it's very big. Adding up all of the Western world's financial services firms is a huge number. And add up all the companies that deal with culture. To do that, Google is to blame since they own YouTube. For WhatsApp, Meta is to blame. If you add LVMH, Disney, the media companies, sports teams, music, and everything else, it dwarfs and kills the finance business. That's how much money is made every day from the ads that show up on social media sites. It's all about getting people to pay attention. Doing business, it's simple to get excited about the fact that we're changing the way payments are made. Okay, that's where we begin. I think about a few years ago when we talked about how XRP would change payments between countries, everyone thought that was a big deal. Oh, you know, the market is worth $156 trillion and XRP will change the rules of the game. What I really think about this is that everything will be a deal. Just think about how crazy that is. The food is brought to your house. Okay, so it's not just a transaction when you order the food, it's also a transaction every step of the way as you track and trace that delivery. All of that will be a network activity. This is taking place right now on Hedera. Everything is going to be a deal. In this case, you want to keep track of your workouts. That is going to be a deal. Everything is going to be a deal. All of it will be turned into tokens on the chain. It looks like this is one of the biggest network impacts that will happen. In this space right now, things are being used in ways that most people can't even think of. There are times when drones are used in building zones to carry a bag of concrete up a hill so that workers don't have to keep going down and up the mountain. It looks like these things are going on right now in this place. However, most people are asleep at the wheel and are looking at this place and thinking maybe we can go to 5 or 10 trillion. They believe that $100 trillion is, you know, out of reach. It's not possible. Think about how quickly the internet grew when it was first used for something important. That big reason to use it. Social media took off around the middle of the 2000s and hasn't stopped since. It keeps getting bigger. For tokenization, this could be our main use case, but once we start to see that, it will run so quickly that most people will not be able to keep up. Now that we think about it, I did write a post about XRP and HBAR. I told them that retail is too focused on the present to see where this technology is really going. It may seem silly right now, but soon almost everyone you know will use DLT for everything. It takes up most of this room as we worry about what Bitcoin will do next or what meme coin will 10x next. It's not funny. That's why I say these assets and the science behind them could easily go through the roof. It's clear where we're going when stocks like Apple, Nvidia, Google, and others are worth trillions of dollars. This market will be bigger than any technological progress ever made. We're not going to stop at 10 trillion or even 100 trillion in this place. We are entering the digital gold rush when we tokenize markets worth $4 quadrillion like stocks. you should choose your tools wisely, because there will only be a small number left after the rules are followed. That is, in fact, going to happen. And I do think that tokenization will be the most important thing we look at. For crypto, I think that will be like social media was for the internet. Tokenization seems like the kind of real use case that will bring a lot of big names and a lot of money into the space. It will only keep growing from there. And let's go back to January, even if it's only for a short time. This is President and CIO Mark Yusko. With the XRP system, things are starting to change so quickly that everyone in the space can see how big this will really get. Right now, we're looking at how prices move. Is that clear? We always want to get our money back, just like regular investors. That's not an investment, but we want to make money. Investments don't last a year or two. You could say, well, XRP hasn't hit an all-time high in 6 years. We could say that all day, which is great, but look at the market we're in. People still care a lot about meme coins. The market is still led by Bitcoin. It doesn't matter what you use it for. I don't know who else needs to tell you this. We're not tied to utility right now. We're tied to Bitcoin. So utility has no value in this space. Mika just went live, right? They are in the lead with this. All we need are rules that will make it possible to use and integrate this technology. So many people in this place have asked me questions or even commented on videos. A lot of it is negative or just comments made by people who don't know much about the subject. The most important thing I can say is that these projects do hold a lot of potential. These projects have a lot of good news. Right now, news isn't moving projects forward, okay? Oh, look, I have a dog picture on my meme coin. That's what's moving projects right now. The joke coin goes crazy all of a sudden.